Hello, Leo. How are you doing, everybody? I hope that this morning is getting off to a great start, or this evening, depending on where you're at. A lot of messages coming through, which was part of the reason that I was a minute or so late here, plus some technical issues when I was sharing some stuff on Facebook. So thank you so much for being patient as I got everything ready for your sign today. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. And as I said, we'll be looking at the sign of Leo today. You can use this for your sun, your rising, and also for your moon sign. You can also look at other aspects of your chart. And especially the channeled messages at the beginning, it's really open to everybody. So if you show up today or if you need a message at any point, you're always welcome to the beginning of every reading that I do, because I'm a psychic, intuitive, and a channeler. So a lot of these messages will come through and be resonate rather for the people that are present. So show up as much as you like. You're always welcome. The way that I organize this is in about 4 major parts. I like to start off with the psychic or channel downloads at the beginning. Then I move on to the Celtic Cross. And I let that take whatever format it needs to, whether it's going to focus on, career or love or a combination of everything in your life. It's really more about you. Then I expand the forecast to go to health, wealth, love, and destiny in particular, so that all of those areas get covered. At the very latter portion of this, we're going to focus more on the soul. We'll go deeper into a couple of the key issues that pop up, and then we'll meditate. At the very end, I pull an extra card. This is something I've been trying with all the April readings to just answer a question that you might be holding on to, or that maybe I haven't had a chance to take a look at thus far. So as you can tell, there's a lot coming through, a lot to kind of get out of a general reading. I try to kind of make this multifaceted, so I hope you enjoy the format. So great to see everybody here today. Again, thanks for being patient as I've been getting everything ready. The past couple of days, I've had to write a lot. It's been coming through. So I'm going to try to get up a little bit earlier and allow a full hour and a half to make sure that I can channel all of these messages, because it's been busy. I have a feeling like we're at a breakthrough point right now with all signs, and we'll look at that in the collective at the end of the month. By the way, I'll be doing a collective on the 28th on a Sunday. I hope you can join, same time, same place. We'll kind of take a look today and then also at the end of the month at how we can break through and start to see some of the changes happen. I think 2022 is the big sort of recovery and, building year, if you will, but this is the year where we're cleaning things up, and it's kind of your best chance, not your last chance, but this is your best chance to, if you want to forge a new direction, to do it. So I want to try to set everyone up for success on that path. Welcome, everyone. I see a new channel member. I see a lot of familiar faces. Thank you to all of, by the way, everyone that consistently comes here and either donates or is a channel member or is a Patreon member. Thank you so much. You make it all possible. I'll be using a newer deck today, Ethereal Visions, which was purchased with the help of all of you. I'm actually going to get an updated version of this. I guess the creator's doing that, so I'll have another version of that maybe in a month or two when they release it. So anyway, I constantly refresh my my card stock with your assistance, so thank you. If you'd like to show support while you're watching this, you can do it with Super Chat. I don't answer questions. I know a lot of readers will use this as a way to answer questions. This is general, but I'm in a channeled state while I do it, so that takes me out of the channel. So just this is a way to show support and help me continue to show up here. If you're watching it on replay, you can do something different. It's called the applaud button, or you can become a channel member or contribute through my website. So we'll talk more about that around the midpoint. But for now, there's a lot to talk about, so let's get started. Again, this will be for April, but these messages may resonate now. The way that this reading spans, it's really like a 6-week reading, really, six to 8 weeks. So when and if you feel like you need to revisit, you can. If certain things seem like they're coming but not there yet, you can always revisit. This will be available right after I do the broadcast for a replay. All right, so this morning, as I was walking, and I do a little bit of meditation with the dog as I'm walking, a spirit totem came through for you. And it was this beautiful bird. I had to look it up online. I'm like, what is that? So I'm in Southern California, and I saw this pretty little yellow bird singing away here, which is a warbler, I guess, a yellow warbler. And I think I saw the female one because it had a little less, the male are more bright in the coloring based on what I was looking up this morning. And the female have a little bit more muddied background. But anyway, so I saw this great little bird singing away, and it was sitting in front of me for a second, kind of like hummingbirds do that with me sometimes. They'll fly in front of me, and then they sit down on the branch and look at me. So I was like, all right, I hear you, I see you. We're going to definitely talk about you today. So I'm going to leave this on the side because there's some other stuff that I want to look at. The bird is a yellow warbler, and I used all these yellow cards at the beginning for that. The important thing with this is your voice matters. Whether it's big or small, because it was a tiny little bird, but I heard it and I saw it, that's important. Every voice matters for that matter. I would say sometimes it's just the loud voices in the room that get heard, but this is a month where I saw that cute little bird and I was like, we all need to speak up and we all need to share a point of view. It tied in really nicely with what I was seeing this morning just before I woke up. To me, it reminded me of a boardroom, and there was someone here that was having a hard time kind of controlling it. And then I saw a couple of people that were theatrically fighting. And when I say that, it was sort of like, have you ever noticed there are people that just like to raise their voice or talk really loud, or they're very animated and you can tell they're kind of looking around to see what effect it's having? That's what I was picking up on. Both people seem to be theatrical, and there were other people in the room that are just thinking this is a waste of time. And these people are over the top. So, your voice could get lost in that theatric sort of energy. And I think what you want to remember is, if you can de-escalate that, perfect. If people are going to do that, then this isn't maybe the time or the place to bring your idea up, or you wait until they have their meltdown and then afterwards you come in as the voice of reason. Whatever is happening, that sparring, you don't want to really get involved in that nonsense. This could be family members, friends. It could literally be at a boardroom, because I was seeing it kind of look like a power play. That's really what my guides were showing me. But it was avoidable, and there was a warning sign. The one person, it was sort of like you had a feeling that this was habitual. They did it before, and you could see certain tells that they were just getting kind of fired up and ready. I just saw the two people enjoying that. So don't get in someone else's drama or fight or domestic situation. I think pull back a little bit and then try to come and aid afterwards. Or better yet, if you see the warning sign before, do it then. Because once it's happening, it was very hard to control. That was what I was picking up on. On the bright side, and maybe this will help avert that, speak up, share your ideas frequently, early and frequently and often. So sometimes if we let things go too far, that's when the meltdown happens. So I think the more you speak up, the more open you are, the more positive you are, the more helpful you are, the more you de-escalate situations before they kind of get into that fiery place, the better. I just was talking about the theatrics here. That's not you. Don't let someone get under your skin and take center stage. Here's the other thing. This could be a territorial thing, because warblers are very territorial for a reason. There's this other bird called a cowbird that oftentimes will lay eggs in their nests. And so what they've learned to do is identify that and protect themselves. There's this other bird, the cowbird, that will step in and put an extra egg in there. And I think they showed a picture of it. So you'll see like finch or warbler eggs, and then that little spotted one is theirs. So sometimes what people are trying to do is to either piggyback off of something that you're doing, or maybe take control of it and say like, no, back on me. Let's pay attention to me. So I think what you want to do is stand up for yourself and say, wait a second, I wasn't finished. Let me finish and then you can talk, and kind of hold the stage. Make sure that everyone gets their turn. It's a very diverse bird. I want to say there's like 37 varieties or something. There's probably an avian freak out there that will correct me, but there's a lot. I would say, let's say nearly 40 varieties. Diversity is really, really good. So I think that in our own ideas and life and just basically day-to-day operations, you want to sort of look at different points of view. So if someone's trying to kind of like take your point of view and quiet it or claim it, this is where you want to protect that and say, no, let's go back. This is what I was saying, and hold your stage there. I also think that it's important to get out of the weeds. And by that, I mean the minutia or all the paperwork or the day-to-day stuff. Or if you're in a relationship and you've been together too much, which has happened during the pandemic, this is about getting space. So bird's eye view, get back a little bit from the current situation and try to get some perspective and see, why do I feel the way I do? Is it simply, pent up energy? Is it really what it feels like it is? Or do I just need to kind of look at it from a distant point of view and understand how we got here and where we're going next? I think this is definitely for people that you are close with. So whether it's a roommate situation, a family situation, a love situation, or work, someone that you spend a lot of time with, it feels like you need to just pull back a little bit and review it from a higher sort of perch, if you will, if we're going to still use the bird metaphor, to understand what's going on. And then the territorial thing is important. I want you to, as I said with the cowbird here, someone else could be trying to put their problem on you. So you are not responsible for other people's issues. Now, if you're someone that regularly helps, if you're like a teacher, a nurse, a therapist, a coach, etc., and that's part of your job, great. But the other piece is there should be some accountability. So you can help somebody, but they're also responsible for taking on their own part of the equation. So they have to do the work too. So there's still accountability. You should have accountability, they should have accountability, and you should expect that sort of exchange to continue. If it's not existing for some reason, this is sort of the wake-up call to think, well, why am I carrying that? Why am I taking care of their problem, incubating that, and in some places maybe even enabling it? So what I really think, and I didn't even get a chance to put this in cards here, is this is a chance to spread your wings. So I'm going to grab an extra index card over here, and we're going to add that in real time to this, because I think that's an important piece of it, is to spread your wings and find a place where you can basically be free or feel a little sense of additional freedom. So if there's anything in your life where you feel like you've been held back, etc., this is your time to spread your wings. All right, so an additional one that I added here, and an important piece as well. All right, so let's go to the next piece and see what's next here. All right, so the next thing was I saw a house that was in disrepair. In particular, I was looking at all of the cracks in the wall, and there were a lot of them. And then I looked at the roof, and there was also sort of areas where the roof was caving in. And it looked like everywhere that I was looking, there was something that was either falling apart or shouldn't have been where it was. So yeah, basically walls, ceiling, and even like the cabinets seemed like they were taken out. So for some of you, this could be literal. You might be thinking of buying a house and tearing it down, or you might be thinking of doing some renovations. There may also be parts of your life that you want to go in and repair or rebuild. Good, this is a good time to do that. Now, if you are avoiding things, the cracks can take on an additional sort of symbol. It could be symbolic of something that you are basically procrastinating a bit to fix or deal with. And I just kept seeing the cracks getting bigger and bigger. So the sooner you can take care of whatever it is that you're kind of sweeping under the rug, the less problematic it'll be, and the less of a chance that it's actually going to kind of, how should I say that, destabilize the structure, whether it's a literal house or a friendship, relationship thing, or even your own health. You have to take care of the structure, the foundation this month. Holes in the wall are not necessarily bad. I actually saw a few places where I could see a hole. For me, that's about a portal. It could also be literally about taking down the walls. Like sometimes we build up the wall around us. There's a Sting song about like building a fortress around your heart, same sort of metaphor, where we kind of build up all of these boundaries, and it feels like things want to break down this month, that it's time to like let go, basically. Tower energy for sure. We'll have to look at the cards in a second to see if it's like tower upright or tower reversed. But for me, I feel like it could be tower reversed, which is a decision on your part to just go in and rip things up and start again. Sometimes it's easier to start over than to try to repair something that is just falling apart or a mess, or has, this is especially true in technology, right? At a certain point, the operating system gets lagged down in features, and it's like you're patching one thing on top of another thing on top of another thing. So like every 10, 15, or 20 years, they just re-release something brand new that's been built from the ground up for a new architecture. Same sort of thing in our life. Sometimes we have this upgrade and it's like, I can't fit in this space anymore, right? You outgrow the space. So the crumbling house could also be a structure in your life that doesn't fit. A work relationship or work in general, maybe a one-on-one relationship, something that you found support in before, but it seems to be wavering a little bit now. So this is your chance to decide to rebuild, to try something new. With the roof, with also having like holes and problems in the roof, to me, I always like to remind people to look up. So first of all, stay optimistic, and also look up to make sure that you're not missing something. And then overall, I think this is a chance just to start fresh. Maybe there's another way out. Maybe you're supposed to go to the next level. Okay? So changes abound in old structures, literally and also figuratively. And this is a time for rebuilding. I got the feeling of you almost being like an archaeologist. So for some of you, you're discovering how you work on the inside, but you could also be looking at pieces of the past, thinking, how did I end up in this point in my life with whoever you're with right now or whatever you're doing? It's a chance to sort of go back and say, you know what, I forgot a piece of me. I'm going to reclaim that piece. And if it's something that you put on hold, maybe to start a family, maybe because you were working so much, you didn't get a chance to do something like that, whatever it is, this is your chance to go back and finish. And also any dreams that you were thinking about, but maybe because others told you couldn't do it or you told yourself you couldn't do it, you just put them indefinitely on hold. Going back to the bird metaphor from earlier, you could incubate and feed these like little baby chicks and allow them to start to grow, which is a cool thing. I didn't have time to pull this out from my bedroom because I have a copy of it. But for those of you that have read The Great Gatsby, I was required because I had a minor in English, and you just have to. And plus, in school, that was part of it. Long story short, the main character, actually, there's a narrator, Nick, but Gatsby, which is kind of the main character, is someone who looks at the past and feels like he can change it. He can go back and relive or fix a moment that was broken. The truth of the matter is we can learn from the past, but we live in today and we can change the future. So Gatsby kind of had this weird, and the end of the book is beautiful, especially the last couple of paragraphs, some of the best final paragraphs in any book. But what's kind of sad about it, it's beautiful and it's sad, is that he kind of died thinking that he could change the past or he changed the past. So realize this, we don't want that to happen. You are changing the future today based on what you were in the past, but the past, all you can kind of do is change your perspective of the past. I've done healing before where you kind of step into the past and you can talk to yourself a little bit and try to heal that younger child or whatever happened, and it can take away some of the trauma. But what happened still happened. All that's changed now is your present perspective of it. It could be a gift. It could have brought you the strength and the perspective to get where you're at today. So here and now is what matters the most. So that's why like past life regressions, they're fascinating. And when I get flashbacks, I've had maybe a dozen or so, they're really cool. But there are some lives that we really didn't want to remember or don't need to remember because they're confusing or maybe holding us back from resolving an issue with someone that we're trying to see again through a new light. So focus on who you are, focus on understanding why you got here, and then focus on what you want to do next. That future vision is really important. I think not repeating history is key, but you can't change your history. You can only change your future. And for some reason, that came through to me as well today. In order for you to kind of get clarity, I would encourage you to journal and take notes. Great ideas will just come through. It's kind of like what I do here. The journal does not have to be Dear Diary. It's more sort of like a book of spells, if you were. You kind of go in there, you can sketch things, you can write poems, you can write dream ideas, dream interpretation, power symbols, totems. That's what it is. It's basically just figuring out yourself. It's your archaeological book as you're figuring things out. That's a more powerful form of journaling than Dear Diary, today I went to the 7-Eleven and bought a soda. Who cares, right? It's more important to say, I had this dream about this and it really triggered a memory. I need to work on this. Or you could write a symbol down and say, I saw this and realized that this is what it represents to me. I'm going to remember that in meditation. That's powerful. Write it down. Write down the little pieces that you remember of your own past too, as it comes through. Okay, so there you go. These are the channeled messages for you, for whoever showed up today, but especially for Leo. And I'm going to review them at the midpoint. So if you joined late or missed anything or want to see one of these cards again, just stick around. We'll have a chance to look at them. The next portion that I'm going to do is the Celtic Cross. And in the Celtic Cross here, we're going to, again, look at it from the bird's eye view and allow it to take on whatever shape or form it needs to. I will remain quiet at that point because I really like to pay attention to the cards, the symbols, and I get additional meanings as I do that, but we'll pull up every single card afterwards, right? Okay, let's see what's coming through for you. again, this is aimed towards the month of April, but if you're watching live in March, many parts of this may resonate, especially recent past, and continue to kind of revisit it if you need to, because things may resonate even more as you get into the month of April. And again, you don't have to be a Leo to enjoy this reading. There might be additional pieces that come through for anyone present. All right, everybody, give me 1 second. There was a couple of other cards that flew off the table. I'm going to look at these real quick. All right, I'm going to use these as extras because they flew off the table. So when that happens, I honor that. Okay, we're going to go card by card here, and then I'll read those bonus ones at the end and interpret them. Okay, your catalyst this month was the Snapdragon. I love this one. It says graciousness and benevolence. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Beautiful message. So there's a Snapdragon, one of my favorite flowers that often comes up in the springtime. And the interesting thing with this, I mean, I can't not look at the word dragon in this, which is a very powerful metaphor. And then if you've ever used this, like as a kid, I'm sure some of you have played with a Snapdragon because you can kind of take the flower and make it open up. This is about also, I think of that as a ventriloquist, right? So the power of the voice, the delicate sort of energy here, and sometimes something that looks delicate is not. So we're getting this sort of contrast between delicate and strong. And so maybe it's about looking at the balance between divine feminine, divine masculine, not judging and not sort of having any preconceived ideas about who or what someone has to say based on what they appear to be. So irrespective of gender, of race, of height, because I was seeing the small little bird, really letting go of preconceptions is going to be super important this month, because power comes in a small package is what we see here. And so sometimes the smaller voice, the smaller person, or an idea that you're just kind of overlooking, that could be the powerful one. So I really want you not to overlook something like that, okay? And also, when I look at the caption here, no act of kindness is ever wasted, no matter how small it is. So even if you can do something small for somebody in your life, and whether they appreciate it or not, it's still something positive. So a smile, a thank you, a small act of gratitude is so powerful, especially spiritually speaking. Uriel, an angel that I work with a lot, has reminded me in the past of the power of saying thank you. It once just said, remember to say thanks. Not because it was sort of like a smack on the wrist. It was more, I can help you more when you're in that place of gratitude. Be grateful. And I was like, thank you. Literally then. And then every time I work with that angel, I always make sure that I express gratitude to show that I integrated the message. But if you open it with your heart, people will be able to kind of more easily exist in your space. So conversations need to go there first. That theatrical thing that I was seeing in the channel message earlier can be avoided or muted a little bit when the heart comes through and just say, I can tell there's a lot that you want to say. Can we break out and do a separate discussion here? Because it seems like maybe this doesn't pertain to everyone here. So there's a way that you could make sure that you care about them and then take it out of that room so that business could continue. Or if someone was I talked yesterday to Cancer about picking a right time, not just to say I'm sorry, but also to have a key conversation. So whether you're a boss or a lover and you have something you want to talk about with somebody, and it's sort of like, I have to do it now. Do you have to do it right now? Or is it the right time? Is that other person ready to receive it? So if it's, again, if you're managing someone or if you're working with someone and it's like 7 or 8 o'clock at night, let them be. If it's someone that you love and it's been a long day, try that conversation the next day. And then in general, when it comes to sharing ideas or pitching ideas, especially if you're a business person, see what's going on, see what other people are doing, see if that person's even interested in receiving some sort of an offer. Sometimes people don't want unsolicited ideas or offers. So do your homework and show up when that is convenient for the other person. So this is especially for something that you're trying to use persuasively. Now, if there's something urgent, if there's a safety issue or something like that, of course you deal with it in real time. But if it's more persuasive or argumentative, timing, tone, and empathy makes all the difference. You can listen to my Cancer reading. I talked about that at greater length. We have the 10 of Cups card at the center here in reverse. The 10 of Cups is a beautiful card because it really shows on the brightest side that people would be interested in who you are and want to be around you. You could be in high demand. There could be a lot of people that just really want time, energy, affection, get on your calendar, etc. With it reversed, sometimes it's pressure from those we love the most. Mom, dad, sister, brother, family, best friend. Definitely sort of like love or blood, basically, with the 10 of Cups. So someone in your life could be smothering you on some levels, could be leaning on you too much, or you could be allowing people in too much. And this is a chance to really just practice good self-care, get ample rest, something I talked about yesterday, and also make sure that you simply hold back a little bit and say, as we see with the 6 of Pentacles, not now, not today, tomorrow's good, and set some boundaries and some limits and redirect or reschedule some of these conversations or appointments or things that are going on. You can do it, but just not all now, all the time. And I think that's key. If you're looking for love, the 10 of Cups is good. So we're going to look at this. I just want to see why it's reversed. I want to see if the timing's off or if you're not feeling it yet, because you shouldn't force anything when it comes to that. This is crossed or tempered here by the 3 of Wands, which I love. 3 of Wands is a really good card for finally starting to see some progress. So if you've been waiting and waiting and waiting for something to start to shift or change or develop, the 3 of Wands is saying, you know what? Make sure, first of all, that you're looking in different directions and looking up and looking around, but you should start to see something happen. It's already happening. This is actually an indication that if you look hard enough or if you try a different location, something will start to stick. I've talked before, I love this illustration, but there is a sense of entitlement that's kind of inherent to the posture in this one. So I think that confidence is good, but expecting or demanding something to happen can also sometimes be dangerous. You want to make sure that you're still being sort of approachable and humble and appreciative and having that gratitude that we talked about a little bit earlier when I was talking about Uriel and the archangels. So open up and always be grateful, and don't be afraid to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty. This 3 of Wands is very removed. I always prefer 3 of Wands where the person is down at the shore meeting the boat, pulling things off the boat, very active. So I like that you expect and you see things, but go a step further and start to do stuff. Meet that boat because in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, you're watching the boats come in. There's always a distance in the 3 of Wands that bothers me as a tarot reader. I'm like, get out there, go do something. What are you waiting for? Because the 2 of Wands was the dreaming stage. The 3 of Wands is the observing stage, but you can also make more happen. The sooner you start to do that, the sooner you'll get higher up. You get the 4 of Wands, you'll bring people in, it'll start to feel better. All right, this was the house. So we have Death card here in your deep past. And death is rebirth, death is change. Death can also be things falling apart or stagnation. So your looking at the foundations and thinking repair, renew, release. There's something that's going on here where you have to really evaluate how much you want to invest in continuing it. So I think it's time for some of you to step away from something or someone. I think some of you may have already done that. You may have also, and if this happened, then my condolences, some of you may have also experienced a loss that was out of your control, maybe it's someone that you love or, beloved, a pet, etc. It can also represent material loss as well. So whatever the sacrifice or loss that might have happened, it's actually going to open you up to new things. We have the Queen of Wands here, which is one of my favorite cards. She came through yesterday. She's coming through a lot for the month of April. She's magical in that she can create through innovation. So I love Queen of Pentacles because she's actually at the top here too. She's resourceful. She's able to basically nurture, to grow. But this one can take the two of these, the fact that you're getting both of these in your spread, this is recent past, this is the here and the now in your crowning position. This is telling me you have a great idea or you understand what to do and you're going to be able to make it work. This is the incubation, this is the nurturing, this is the plentiful energy that's coming through because this is like the universal mother. So ideation and creation. It's a good month for you so far. But what does that come out of? Loss, separation, divorcing, letting go. Something has to move out. So these two fertile symbols can come through and say, all right, now let's do something that really matters. Sometimes it gives you permission, right? When, especially if it's someone that you loved and they decide to break up with you or something, you're like, you know what, I'm going to show them. I've got a lot to offer. I'm going to start to just, and then sometimes you decide to get healthier. Sometimes you go back to school. So all of a sudden the focus goes on personal development and growth, and you become what you always know you can be. You don't have to break up to do it. This can just be a card of going through and renewing stagnant pieces of yourself, like the archaeological metaphor that I was talking about. But it feels like there's a piece of your life right now where you kind of like, it's almost like in the springtime, you have to turn over the soil. That's what this death card is saying. Go to where things aren't fertile and turn things over or break things down and rebuild them. And so how small or how large that is really depends on what you're trying to do and what you want. I have some good news for you. When I'm looking, all your resource cards look great this month. We have the Queen of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles is actually going in a really good direction. The Six of Pentacles is the near future. So this is going to be the next 6 to 8 weeks for you. Six of Pentacles is a card of balance. Thankfully, on this card, we actually see the scales. We see a lot of people asking, and we see a benevolent person saying, you, or not yet, or not now. It's decisions. And this really is also how you can control the 10 of Cups. You can't say yes to everything all the time. This includes like treating yourself to certain things. It's about really having a little bit of temperance. It's not here, but that's holding back a little bit, not going overboard. So there's a decision in the Six of Pentacles. You can get pretty much all that you want, but not everything, and not all at the same time. I prefer this to the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles really shows stretched resources, and you have to make a tough decision. Six of Pentacles, you just can't kind of like go on that trip right now. You can't buy that product that you want right now, but you can still live comfortably. It also shows that through discipline, even if you are in a place where you're really struggling more and feel like it's harder for me, and I understand that. The Six of Pentacles is saying through discipline, you'll actually be able to use the Queen of Wands energy we see here and be kind of scrappy and resourceful and see a lot more abundance happen. I also want you to fight for the Queen of Pentacles energy that's here. This is you. So if there's, for any reason in your life, someone who isn't investing in you, who doesn't see the value, it's time. I was revisiting an old place of employment in the dream, and I thought, why am I here? So one of the messages I would have for some of you, especially after this pandemic, there may be a chance to go back to a place that you used to work. You have a choice to decide if that's the right thing. For me, when I was looking at it, I thought, never in a million years. Why would I want to do that experience again? So if you have a choice, and even if that hasn't happened yet, my message would be start finding other alternatives so that at the very least, you could maybe negotiate for more pay or for a better experience if you choose to go back. But why choose to go back if you don't have to? I feel like for some of you, this is a chance to spread your wings, because I wrote that as an extra one, and really experience new things, okay? And yeah, I saw someone here talking about something that happened to me before, which is sometimes when you've quit, people realize what they miss. I've had like a text or an email that happens before. And if this happens to you, phone call, text, email, whatever form of contact it is, what is your first impression when you receive it? Is it thank goodness, or is it, oh my God, no? That's it. Go with the intuitive thing. If it's like, no, don't do it. If there's some sense of joy because finally you're getting to do what you want to do, then this is a gift from the universe. It's kind of like that little coin here being handed to you. But pay attention. Don't go back and do something that you don't want to do. Okay. I feel like many of you you're already in this energy. This is in the ego. The Eight of Pentacles is growth, development, learning. So whether you're literally going to school or taking classes, or you've learned about yourself, I was talking about the sort of internal archaeology that would be happening, where you're kind of digging into the past and trying to figure out the future and trying to figure out how it all ties together. Some of the Gatsby metaphors that we were talking about as well. You're on the right path. Whatever you want to invest in now and next, I really like it. And for those of you that want to go and get a GED, or maybe go to higher education, or get a special, training or certification, absolutely do it. We've got the Eight of Pentacles here showing that you'll get something out of that experience. Okay. What you have to do with the Six of Pentacles is be realistic on where. So there may be choices, and you may not be able to go to the first choice, but here's the secret. At the end of things, people care more about this and this, like who you are, how you feel, what you can bring to the table. And it's not always, the degree or the school or whatever. It's what can you do? What have you done? Why do you want to work with me? So particularly, I'm looking at this in Pentacles because there is a practical sort of energy with that. So do something that you love, and do it because you love it, not because there's an expectation that doing this will equal this. So hopefully that makes sense. For those of you that might be retired or not interested in work and trying to figure out what this is about, the Six of Pentacles is balance. Two of Pentacles I usually look at as work-life balance, but Six of Pentacles tells me you could have more if you focus. So there's possibly like a missed opportunity to streamline the way you live your life, and maybe you could open up free time to do something you love. This could be playing golf. I mean, something that you like, a hobby that you want to improve upon. Eight of Pentacles is just improvement and skill building. So if you're retired, you could just be deciding to, dabble in art a little bit more, or sports, or meditation, yoga. Do something you love, but make it something that you really feel that you're growing out of as well. We have the Knight of Cups in the environment. So I definitely feel good about relationships this month for you, Leo. That's a great symbol to come through. You have some choices, and we're going to talk about that in a second. I like that the Knight of Cups is upright. If you've been struggling with feelings of being overwhelmed, maybe you've been depressed, this is sort of like a light at the end of the tunnel. It also is what you're calling in right now. So it's a sensitive sort of energy. You might be feeling a little bit more vulnerable or sensitive. Artistic inclination is also a piece of the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight wants to do something with it. I was talking to Cancer yesterday about the fact that I feel better after I do a reading for you, because I have all this sort of energy that I have to channel out to you. Then I can take a nap, then I can relax, and I can be a normal person. So you have to channel somehow. The Knight wants to come through and have you do something with it. So emotionally and creatively and intuitively, because it's a sensitive card, all of those things need a focal point. So that's why this is important, whether it's school, arts, dancing, sports, I don't care what. You need a channel and outlet for the creative flow that wants to come through this month, okay? We have the Chariot card reversed in hopes, fears, and opportunities. Are you ready to take control? Is someone else trying to step in and take control of you? Is it like that Cowbird where someone's giving you their problem like a hot potato and saying, here, deal with it? And you think, no, I'm not going to deal with that. What's that about? So this is a chance to balance out the control, say yes or no. No is a powerful thing. You can ask questions. Just say, why me? Why now? Wait a second, I need more information. You can't just drop this on me. I need your help on it. I'll help you, but you have to be a part of this. And that's a great thing if you're a parent or a teacher or a doctor. I will help you, but you have to meet me on this journey, because I can't just keep, I'm thinking of like Humpty Dumpty in my head, because I was looking at the broken house. you can't hold together someone who's kind of just disheveled and falling apart. They have to take some accountability to rebuild themselves too. All right. So yeah, you can't put Humpty Dumpty back together. And if someone in your life is like that, it's a chance to sort of say, no, you've got to sort yourself out first. Okay, so let's look at your outcome card, Three of Cups. It's reversed, so this is interesting. For those of you that are single, options are in front of you, but there's a fear or a sort of like, I don't know if I want to do that, like getting back into the relationship field. It's not so fun, right? Sometimes. So this is like a hermit card when it's reversed, but it's a chosen hermit. So some of you have people, places, and opportunities knocking on the door, but you're saying, I don't know if I want to do that right here, right now, just yet. Some of it's because of the pandemic, and we're just a little bit nervous about that, and that's perfectly fine. But when it comes to just an opportunity or even getting to know someone, take a look at what's triggering that sense of voluntary hermit, if you will, right? The Three of Cups is a celebration, and sometimes we miss that piece of it. And we should be celebrating the little victories in our lives right now. That warbler bird that came through in real life as I was getting ready to come back home this morning after walking Apollo reminded me of the importance of, celebrating the little things, and that a little act of kindness can go a long way, the way we saw that here in the Snapdragon. So as you're moving through day-to-day stuff, take a moment to just, take a nice deep sigh, relax, light a candle if you want to, meditate, and give some gratitude for all the things that are going right. And then ask for some strength on the things that are challenging you a little bit. So gratitude and celebration should be a part of every day. And then opening your heart up to love and learn and live again, even after loss in your life. Some of you may have loved really deeply and lost really deeply. And this is a chance to say that the universe is opening up and saying there's more if you want it. Now, the other thing that I'm seeing here, for those of you that might be in a relationship, we'll go deeper in a second, but I'm going to talk about it because it's in the outcome. If you're in a relationship, Three of Cups comes through when there might be a chance to rekindle the flame a little bit, because the card is reversed. So it's about reclaiming that feeling that you had when you first met someone. So if you've been in a relationship for a long time, or if you've been spending the last 12 to 15 months with someone, it's hard to sort of feel the same sense of, I miss you, it's so good to see you, because you're seeing them all the time, right? So see if you can change things up a little bit, have a date experience, get out of the house, even if it's just the two of you socially, distance from other people. You can do a picnic or something like that if the weather's cooperative. Otherwise, you could just decide to cordon off some time and some space for you. And I think that's key. So that's for those in relationships. For those that are single and have lost, you can love again if you want to. For those that are single and happy, I feel like business is knocking on the door, because the 10 of Cups and the 3 of Cups, that's people that are interested in what you have to offer. It's good word of mouth. Are you utilizing it though? The 3 of Cups in reverse can actually be people that want to help you, but you're shutting them out. It can also be gossip. If it's gossip, you want to shut that down. If it's the sort of underutilized positive speech, then you want to try to find a way to do something positive with that, right? Okay. Let's go a little deeper into the expanded forecast. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll start with the health card. It says charity, prayer, and contemplation, connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. So the card is reversed, but let's pull it upright so you can see it. Charity is really great, actually. Being able to sort of like give and forgive and connect and open up that heart space. I think that in general, we can just read this as being grateful and meditating this month. I think if you can make time for that, that will change everything for you. Just closing your eyes and breathing. I just meditated right there. I let go of energy. I brought in new energy. You can meditate for 5 seconds if you want to, for 1 minute, for 3 minutes, breathing and letting go. Sometimes people say I can't meditate, but you can. Just stop thinking about meditating. Taking a walk and just taking in the environment, that's a form of meditation. Listening to music and just kind of zoning out, that's meditation. It's not traditional. Drawing or scribbling and kind of getting lost in the process. Writing, these are meditative activities. Composing music, especially dancing. Talking to someone can be, but it's not really going to be a deep meditation. Talking to a therapist is more meditative because you're going into parts of yourself. But I would challenge you to just close your eyes and breathe and keep breathing and feel good. Just feel the breath, let go. Don't get up here. Get into your heart and your lungs and just feel what the body feels. That's it. Get in touch with your empathy. And when I say empathy, it's also like feeling what you feel, feeling what others feel. That part of yourself sometimes is neglected. It's not all, I do guided meditations, but it's not always about seeing yourself in a location and doing all of that. It's sometimes just about creating clarity and space. Maybe we'll do something like that today. We'll see. All right. The other aspects of health, I would definitely say moderation needs to be dealt with this month, because we have the 10 of Cups, which that's a lot of cups. 10 and 9 of Cups can show going overboard, and so can the 3 of Cups. So if any of you have had anything in your life where maybe you've gone overboard, maybe there's addiction, definite addiction, then this would be triggers that would come through and you want to step back from that. This could also be emotional highs and lows. Overall, it feels like you're okay, but there could be a couple of moments this month that shake the foundation. And when that comes through, it's normal to feel a sense of grief, of frustration, of anger. And it's really about having a good way to discuss, to channel, or to deal with that when it happens. So emotional energy is what I'm picking up on the most here for you. I'm not seeing as many bodily health issues. It's sort of like how you deal with your stress, what you put into your body that matter the most. The Queen of Pentacles is usually a pretty healthy card. Queen and King upright, I don't see many problems with. If it's reversed, sometimes there can be a chance or a tendency to overindulge. We even see like the grapes around her. So sometimes drinking or overeating can happen. So just try to balance things out and take care of yourself. Overall, the fact that we have the 3 of Wands at the center tells me that whatever challenges come your way, you should be able to deal with them. So that's your health message for this month. Let's look at wealth next. Embracing enthusiasm. Shout out to the heavens with happiness. Love it. Card is reversed, but this is also, here's the interesting thing. You don't have to always shout. So the reversal of this is saying the tone of your voice matters. A quiet message can be just as powerful as that shouting and that theatrics that we were seeing earlier when I was talking about the meditation. So I would say it's not how loud you shout, it's what you shout. And it's not if you shout, it's what you say. So I'm going to kind of like go into the card a little bit more and say, focus on the message, focus on the timing, and just speak up. This is basically making sure that you don't get to the pressure cooker moment where you have no choice but to shout. I would say just keep talking as you go through stuff and share your insights and show the sort of process that you're going through. That's in wealth, because if you speak up, people will start to realize, why don't we talk to that person? They always have something great. They have some insight. They have a way to look at things that I appreciate. So use your voice. Looking specifically at some of the wealth messages this month, you're more in demand than you may think. People may like you more than you are giving yourself credit for. Don't sell yourself short is what I'm seeing here, because the growth potential is great. And that's maybe something that you can use to your advantage if you're a little bit younger and trying to get a job that's more senior. You can show how much you've grown and really say, you should take a chance on me. I'm like a good bet on this. And if you've been around for a while and people aren't appreciating you, you should also remind them that, you know, you have a lot to offer and you want to grow, that you're feeling stagnation. Because if not, and if they don't allow for that growth to happen, I don't think you should have to force feed anything. That's your signal to look for something different. Even if you've been there 10 or 15 or 20 years, it's never too late. It's never the wrong time. It's only something, you have to decide. I talked yesterday about the only surefire way to fail is to not do it, or to say, I can't, it won't, it will never happen. Well, in that case, it won't, because you've decided it. You've called that in. That was your message for wealth. Overall, looking pretty good. By the way, you might find the dream job through word of mouth. So, or if you're looking, this is a segue into love. If you're looking for someone or something, it's probably in your immediate sort of periphery, the 3 of Cups and the 10 of Cups, friends and family. So make sure you're tapping into the existing resources and networks that you have. That's how you can find the next best thing. Okay, let's look at love. This was interesting because I went, ooh, I have something in my book where it's kind of like the divine tongue, God's tongue, or Gudrastan. It's this idea of being able to connect with your higher self and just allow that voice. It's a different voice. Have you ever noticed sometimes we modulate our voice? When you're with friends, it can go really high. It's kind of fun. When you're on the phone with the telephone company, you're probably going to be lower and say, yes, I'd like to talk to a representative. So we have the ability already to modulate our tone. I want you to really feel the power coming through when you're trying to say or express something. Feel it here, know it here, and allow this to just really go into a place you didn't know you could go. Singers probably are able to understand what I'm saying even more, where they're able to all of a sudden open their throat in a way where they can reach a higher note, or they find a way to kind of like go into a certain run or whatever. Our voice is capable of acrobatics that we don't always give it credit for. But for the everyday person, I don't sing, and I can't really sing that well, but for the everyday person, you do have the ability to control tone and push energy through the throat. An interesting sidebar, I meditate with a lot of different deities. So whether it's, Eastern, Western, doesn't matter. I'm pretty like cosmically spiritual. There was one time when I just happened to walk by a church and I stepped in and I was just meditating there because it's a sanctified space. I don't care if I'm in a church, a mosque, a temple, it's all sanctified spaces. So you can walk in any of those and feel the energy. So I just happened to be walking into one and I saw the avatar of Jesus there. And what I just meditated for a little bit. I wanted to connect with that higher ascended master. And this is where I felt it. It was in the throat. So his energy came through the throat, and I just felt this wash of warmth that went through my body, but it came here first. And later I tried meditating again, and it came through the throat. I thought about it later. It's because that particular prophet's role on the planet was to teach. So it made a lot of sense. So you'd be surprised the power of words and the power of your voice. And why am I speaking about this? Is in relationships. Say what you feel. Get this through that. And if you can't do that, also realize nonverbal communication is really important too. So, but I feel like you got to use the voice too. The bird came through. I just remembered that experience when I walked into a church. I think all of these different things can kind of help you out in being stronger and more powerful in relationships in your life, not just love relationships, but also work and interpersonal ones in day-to-day life. There may be multiple opportunities in front of you if you're looking for love. We have the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups. The Queen of Wands is the past. The Queen of Pentacles is what's kind of here in your mind. And what I see is this. But have you let go of someone from the past? It feels like it could just be like a phantom, a ghost, a specter, a dream of what was, or maybe nostalgically you felt like, I can't ever get it past this person. So for those of you looking, there is a little bit of a nudge to release that. Or if you have to go back like the archaeologist and dust things off and think, well, like, why did it end? Do I need to get some closure on this? There's something from the past that's preventing you from embracing this energy that wants to come through, which conceivably could be a water sign or something. But that's what I'm seeing there. The other thing is, if you've been dating for a while, the 10 and 3 of Cups are kind of not necessarily what I'd want to see. So this is maybe one partner is looking very much at wanting a long-term relationship, and the other one's just enjoying the dating process. So if you've been dating someone for a while, what are you looking for? Are you on the same page? You don't want to put pressure there, but you do want to take a temperature check and see if you both want the same thing at the same time, because it feels like timing could be off a little bit. And as you meet new people, for those of you that are looking, make sure that you speak up and say it with kindness and try to kind of just say, this is what I'm looking for. What do you want? Also, that's an elevated tone. So God speak here is basically, I would say, making sure that you are always going to a higher place and leaving a conversation better than when it started. So instead of going in and just kind of like a bee or a hornet stinging and seeing what happens, definitely try to elevate, get your point across, but make sure that they understand. Persuasive speech works best when you concede to the opposition. So you can say, I actually do know what you're talking about. I used to feel that way. This is when I had my turning point. Have you thought about this? Is there a reason you haven't thought about X, Y, Z? Because I think if you looked at that, like me, you may have a change of heart. I do understand, but I think that this is missing. So try to meet them. Try to not make them feel alienated for their point of view. find something valid or understandable or a common ground. When you find the common ground, then you can meet somewhere. If you block them off, because remember, one of the metaphors was to bring down the walls. If it's already walled off, all you're going to do is be shouting at the two sides of the wall. And that's kind of what I was seeing. So you got to break the wall down. You've got to try to understand them and then try to put a hand out and say, let's try this. Are we going to work together or not? All right, your final card here is the Water Guardian. Connect with your emotions. And we saw that with the Knight of Cups in the environment. This is also very kind of archangelic looking to me too. So feel free to work with an angel like Raphael is really good for emotional healing and just healing in general if you want to. And open yourself up. It's okay to laugh, to cry, to whatever you need to do. This is saying the sooner you can access and release those emotions, the sooner you can spread your wings, right? Okay. Let's take a look at the next couple of cards that were bonus cards here. So we have, I'm going to do my best to kind of see how this would work. So normally I'm just going to say that these are maybe two options in front of you. So one of them here, we have intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. All right. So if something is kind of messy or falling apart, or if an argument takes place, it was supposed to. It's sort of like the hand of the divine stepping in and saying, you weren't dealing with this, so I'm going to make you deal with it. Right. So find the light in the experience and don't judge yourself too harshly for the emotional kind of trigger that it might have. The other one for some of you is you're finally understanding that the life is a little bit more complicated. Like the world is more beautiful. I should put it this way. It's multifaceted. We have Odin, psychic insight. Your third eye is open. See truth for what it is. Follow your intuition. So when I started to wake up intuitively, I had an aha moment where I thought, wow, okay, this is actually something. There is life beyond this life. There are other energies, other dimensions, other everything out. The rabbit hole goes as deep as you want to go. And so for some of you, you're starting to see your power. You're starting to see the opportunity. It's like Neo in the Matrix when he believes in himself. I think that happened in the first movie. It took him the whole movie to kind of get to that point where at the end, he just sort of stopped the bullets. He saw the code. He was able to kind of do that. We're all kind of living a little bit of that where at a certain point we see through the mirage and then we start to get insights. And if we ignore them, the house, the tower starts to fall apart. So don't ignore them. I believe these two can work together. Odin is here to say, just go down that path. It's going to be a lot easier. Then the divine comes in if you don't do it and says, well, all right, we're going to stop this because you decided to go down that path anyway, but it's not right for you. So in that case, maybe you get laid off, maybe someone breaks up with you, maybe something happens that shakes up your life a little bit. And the goal of that is not to punish you, but to get you to pay attention again to the other direction. So just redirect, I think, is the main message if you find yourself in that situation. Okay. Let's now take a look at a quick review of everything that we talked about. And then we're going to go a little bit deeper into some of the issues here. I definitely want to see what the opportunity for rebirth, recreating things is here. So first we'll start with the channeled messages, and then we'll do a quick review of the cards, and then we'll get into the next portion. So Yellow Warbler, that cute little, it looked like a finch to me, but I had to look it up online, but it's a Yellow Warbler. The message here was to basically voice whatever's on your mind right now. Your voice matters. Speak up. Don't let other people take away your voice. Share your ideas and insights frequently, rather than kind of going to the energy that we saw here with this shout to the heavens. I would say you could actually avoid having to do that by speaking up a little bit every day, speaking up frequently. In dreams, I was shown a situation where another person was prone to theatrics, and I would say don't let that other person get under your skin or take center stage, especially if you're trying to get something done. Maybe pull them out of that situation, as I talked about. Warblers are protective of their own space for a reason. This is really reminding you to stand up for your ideas and your space. There is a certain sort of, here it is, I want to go to that one. In nature, there's a cowbird that comes in and invades their space. So it's a reminder here for you not to take care of other people's problems. The other piece that I was talking about was celebrating diversity. There's a lot of different species of this bird. You want to celebrate different ideas, different points of view, and open up to that. And that particular instance, it's also good to get a bird's eye view of what's going on. If you've been with someone too long and you just need some space, get some space. Also, don't focus on all of the little paperwork and everything so much. You need to kind of go higher and look at the big picture. And then this was what I was talking about. There may be someone that tries to put like a hot potato in your lap and have you deal with it. That's their problem, not yours. You can help them, but they have to take responsibility with it as well. Be accountable, expect others to do the same, basically what I was just saying, and spread your wings, something that I added here at the last moment. I saw a vision of a house needing repair. The roof, the foundation, the walls, everything was kind of falling apart. And the cracks to me were items that maybe started to build up over time. And if you pay attention to them now, you can avert that sort of crumbling and crackling of the house. So take care of things ASAP. The holes in the wall actually could be portals or a symbol to break down the walls. Maybe where you're living or where you're working or the relationship in which you are currently residing, it's just sort of not allowing you to grow the way that you need to. So this is also about breaking free of that. Yeah, literally time to bring some walls down. Some of you might be doing some home improvement, which is why I was looking at all of this, right? Sometimes it's easier to start over than to try to fix a tower-like situation. This is sometimes, it can be, we can kind of get very triggered by this thinking, I don't know if I can do it. I've worked so hard to get where I'm at. You can start again if you want to. It's really a choice. The roof reminded you to look up, and also if you start fresh, then you're not tethered by the past. It's something that can be really uplifting. This is a month of spiritual archaeology, discovering your inner workings, if you will, being able to see what makes you tick, what doesn't, in fact, as well. Reclaiming the past, specifically things that you've held on to. And maybe there's a person or a thing that you just felt like, I need to make peace. I need to get some kind of clarity on that. And that's coming through as well. Any dreams that you've put on hold, this is a time to reclaim those and maybe go back to school, get some training, etc. Unlike The Great Gatsby, you want to focus on here and now and the future. The past gives you context, but it's not something to live in forever and ever and ever. Finally, journal and take notes. Remember that this journaling is going to be more like what I'm doing here, but basically in a spiral bound or something where you can draw, you can write some ideas that you've been seeing in your visions and meditations and symbols like that, so that you can start to understand who you are and what makes you tick. We have the Snapdragon here in the Catalyst, which I see sort of as it's an interesting symbol of both strength and delicate energy. It's a reminder that what you see can often surprise you. It's not always what you get. So someone that seems really meek can have some amazing strength and amazing ideas. Never judge a book by its cover. Also, we have this message about a small act of kindness. It's never wasted and it doesn't go unnoticed. So even if other people in your life can't meet you with that same level of kindness or level of understanding, this card is saying, keep doing it, keep moving there. You're going to eventually start to see things shift. We have some really nice cards here, specifically the center and the outcome card. You have the 10 of Cups at the center. You have the 3 of Cups here in the outcome. The 10 of Cups is showing love, support, community. The 3 of Cups is also showing like interest in you, word of mouth in you. Now, both being reversed is showing me that you want to pull back a little bit. You're questioning, should I do this? Is this what I want? Is this the right time? And as we look at this, I would say you are deserving of whatever is coming your way, but there could just be a feeling of hesitation because of past failure or a lack of sort of ease with whatever you were doing, especially if it was dating or working with someone else. But I see things shifting this time around. So open up to the possibilities. That's really what this is, open up to the possibilities. If people are demanding too much, then put your foot down. And with the 6 of Pentacles, it's basically saying, we can do this, but this is what I can do now, and this is what I can do later. It's basically creating a plan. So you don't have to go all in 100%. You can focus on what makes sense for you. Death, it's time to rebuild. There's definitely some things that need to be released. We'll talk about those as we do the soul path here in just a moment. The Queen of Wands, one of my favorite cards. I love the Star, but the Queen of Wands I like because she's magical. And the Queen of Pentacles I like because she's successful and she's able to take these ideas and actually bring them to a fruitful outcome. You've got both of these energy energies rather in your spread, which is telling me that the sky's the limit. That's maybe why the roof was broken down, right? Because you're supposed to go higher, breaking that glass ceiling. I hadn't even thought about that. We've got a lot of divine feminine cards here too. So for those of you that identify as female, this is a chance to really get past those boundaries that we're still struggling to overcome even now. But either way, men or women, divine feminine energy, we can all access irrespective of the gender that we feel that we want to identify as. So this is just showing growth and nurturing and the ability to lead others. Sometimes it's nicer to have queen energy than king because there's more of a personal touch with it. So softer and gentler can kind of go further when that's what we're seeing here, strength, but a softer sort of strength. Good leaders don't have to say they're good leaders, and they don't have to yell and scream and shout or brag. They just lead by example, right? There could be a power struggle. Interestingly, I saw two strong, I forgot about this because it just mirrored an old experience, but in the meditation, I could see two strong women. So if there's a way that the two of you could come together rather than to fight, I think you could get so much more done. So anyway, just for some of you that are working in an office or a family where there's a couple of strong women, try to find a common ground again. Six of Pentacles, choices, basically. Make the right choices at the right time and you can do whatever you set your mind to. Eight of Pentacles, I really think this is a time for you to do something just for you, whether it's for pleasure or development. It's going to help because you have a lot of emotional energy that needs channeling. Knight of Cups, it's a good time to get back into the energy of love. So if you're in a relationship, spend some time with the partner. Remember why you got interested at the beginning. If you're feeling bored, Three of Cups can indicate boredom in a relationship and a decision like maybe we need to try something new, try to rekindle that spark. If you're single and happy, you still may have a lot of people that want to be around you. I see it as a very social, even though we're in social distancing right now, it feels like there's a lot of people that are interested in you. So for media, in particular, social media, make sure that you're doing your marketing. It feels like you're going to have some success with any sort of marketing campaigns that you work on right now. We have the Chariot reversed here, taking power, taking control, taking authorship over things. Three of Cups, deciding what you want, when you want it, because it feels like people are ready to connect with you and they want to know, when you're ready. With the Three of Cups, also have the talk about, is it officially a relationship with someone if you've been dating for a while? Because this shows sort of more of a casual energy. So something's going on with relationships, either for some of you, it could be a wedding or a birth. For some of you, it could be boredom and a need to sort of rekindle. And for those of you in a new relationship, it could also be this feeling of when are we going to get serious? And if you're single and happy, too bad, I'm still seeing a lot of people around you. So you're going to have to figure out how to deal with the social interactions. And that might be why you're pulling back and hermiting a bit. All right. Remember to meditate. The word specifically is charity here, and trying to find the best in people, I think, and in yourself as well. Being charitable and being kind and being understanding of yourself as well. Rebuilding is a definite piece of what we're looking at with health. So if you had a close brush with death, we're coming out of a pandemic, so some of you may have lost someone to COVID. You might have had COVID. You may have had another issue in your life with, like a heart attack or something like that. This is coming through and saying you can rebuild. We have the Three of Wands here. You're going to survive this, and you're going to be stronger for it. Make that decision. Easy does it. We go from the 6 to the 8, so I see progress, but it's not like you're immediately jumping into full throttle, right? Easy does it. The other thing with health is it's mostly emotional and not overdoing things. So try to balance that out. For wealth, speak up. Use your voice here with embracing enthusiasm and really make sure that you're putting some passion into your voice, which we also see here in relationships. The other thing with wealth, again, trying not to say yes to everything is going to be important. You'll actually be able to do whatever you do a lot better. We have God speaks, or like the divine tongue here. And for me, this is about really owning your divinity and speaking up and letting people hear you in a different tone. I kind of jokingly went through it, but you speak differently sometimes. If you are on the phone or if you're talking to your parents or whatever, there are different tones that we take in our voice. Sometimes very solemn, sometimes really high, whatever. So make sure that you're using the tone and emoting in the right way when you have these key conversations, especially if there's a conversation about loving or needing to leave someone, or there's a conversation about wanting someone to invest in you, or there's a power struggle and wanting to find a common ground. Trying to find an elevated way to speak is the most important thing. Let those emotions come out in a constructive way. I talked about that through art and through creative aspects, or creative activities, I should say. And then you kind of have this nexus in the road. Odin is basically the All-Father in Norse mythologies, and he's coming through and saying, this is the way to do it. You know this. You're starting to open up. Sometimes we have to go through the tower, though, in order to get to kind of get the inner knowledge. He's been there. He's lost an eye in the process, and he's trying to help you see what he sees. So sometimes we're not listening to our parents, our elders, or our higher self, or just our higher insight. And it's definitely, it's knocking a little bit on your third eye and saying, listen up here. No matter what, you're going to be okay, though, right? So I'm going to get a glass of water because I forgot it. And then we're going to go into the soul path. I really want to look at what we can rebuild, what the death card is really about for you this month. So give me 1 second here to get the cup of water so my voice doesn't give out. And we're going to look and see what's coming through. Okay, so I want to understand a little bit more what the death card is about for you. I see it as transformation. So why don't we ask the question, what can you release? What can you transform? We have the King of Cups in reverse. Interesting. All right. So for some of you, King of Cups can be super, like so high energetically, right? It can just feel like you're on top of the world. And it can also sometimes feel like everything was taken away at once. So I think some of you might have, maybe even a year ago, been kind of like the King of Cups. And over the last year, it's sort of been like one by one, you've started to see the things that you like, or the things that you were holding on to kind of like empty out. The cup is emptied out. And there's this sense of being deflated or defeated, but you're still the king. You still have the energy to create and to own that divine masculinity. This is a really gentle divine masculine card, and I really, really like the King of Cups coming through for you. So it's saying be gentle with yourself, be kind to yourself, and reclaim your divine right for happiness and stability. And yes, you may have lost, you may have loved and lost, you may have just lost, whatever it is. This is saying that it's okay to feel that way, and it's okay to also reclaim. This is the ultimate creative card. I was talking to Cancer yesterday because we had a shark come through, which I kind of saw as the King of Cups. So when I'm thinking of that shark metaphor again, it fights for what it wants. So don't give up the fight. Don't give up. That's the message that I see with the King of Cups reversed. So whatever that applies to in your life, like don't give up on love, don't give up on your professional, whatever it is, aspiration. Don't give up on hope in general, on life. Every day matters. Every experience brings you closer to what you stepped foot on this planet to learn. And we've all been through rejections. For those of you that are artists, I'm sure you've experienced it, whether you're a musician and you try and get, signed to a label, or you're a writer and you try to get an agent or a publisher, or for those of us that aren't artists and we're just trying to get a job, sometimes you feel like I've sent out, hundreds of resumes. Why isn't it happening? I've lived through those periods before too. Like 9/11 was pretty bad. And there was also, the Great Recession that we got through in the middle of like around 2008 or so. So it happens. There are times where it doesn't matter how strong or smart you are. The universe is just sort of saying, sorry, you've got to pause now. We want you to regroup. We want you to breathe. Just kind of from personal experience, when I look back at those 2 points in time for me, both times that the world kind of fell apart a little bit, my guides really were saying, move on to something else. Why are you continuing to do this? But I kept doing it. So I wish personally that like in 2001, I was doing this. I wish that back in 2006 or 8 that I was also doing this. But I kind of wasn't ready until now. But I had openings. And so take your first opening. Learn from me. Don't wait. Get started sooner. You'll be happier and you'll get further and things will just open up. So yes, it's okay to feel sad that things fell apart. But have you ever thought that, just like we see here, we have divine intervention. We have the divine director here, intervention and purpose. And we have Thor, which can be your deity of choice, but like the higher energy coming through and saying, no, not this, this. Look in that direction. So redirect and look around. there is a chance to find and be even stronger and be even better than you were before. Some of you may be going through grief. King of Cups, of course, is sadness, is depression. Get help if you have that. It's a sign of strength to ask for help. And if you need assistance, there's so many hotlines out there, so just Google it. There's a lot of different resources. Many of them are free, 1-800 numbers. So find the help that you need, okay? That's strength, that's good. And that's something that we need to understand, especially if you're a man. Get the help, it's okay. I don't know why we've raised our little boys to think that they can't cry or that it's not strong or powerful to be vulnerable, but it is. And if we really want to see equality with women, we have to let the boys be sensitive and let the girls be strong. So you can't neglect the young. It's the young children. We have to really work with the little boys too, to change the sort of dynamics and the how it's going to be for equality for everybody, right? So if you are an adult person and you identify as male, take care of yourself, male or female, but especially the men that are afraid to cry or whatever, this card is for you too. All right, let's open it up a bit. You have a lot of really good stuff. I want to look at the Queen of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. That to me is super developmental. There's like a lot that you can do. And let's see what will happen with that. So how can you get into your power? How can you spread those wings? How can you do something amazing? The sun. All right. So for many of us in the Northern Hemisphere, we're heading towards summer. This can also show one solar year. So 1 year from now, which I also believe is going to be an amazing period. I think 2022 is looking very, very bright. And this also is your ego because the card was reversed. And this is power dynamics because it's the solar plexus. So the answer to this is really fight for things and feel things here. Stand strong, stand tall, do some exercises to strengthen the solar plexus. Know that this is your charisma. This is also the Queen of Wands here because we have all those little sunflowers. So when you really show enthusiasm, show power, show interest in what you're doing, other people can't help but to fall into that beautiful energy that we see here, right? So yeah, believe in yourself, trust yourself, and know that you're on to a better year ahead. And I couldn't have said that any time until now, because we're starting to see things shift on a very practical level too. You see more vaccines coming out. We're still kind of going up and down with variants and things like that. But I do see 2022, a year from now, being a lot better. So this is your rebuilding time to get things into a better zone and to focus on a better tomorrow, right? Also, it's a baby. We don't see the baby in that card, but for some of you, the baby is a metaphor for something that you want to create. So what is your creative baby going to be? Is it going to be a new business? Is it going to be a different part of yourself? Are you going to rebirth basically who you are, be reborn, go back to school, have a different degree, try something different? Are you going to repackage skills? You don't always have to do that, by the way. You can just repackage your skills. That's what I've done over the past 20 years. I mean, I'm using journalistic skills in tarot because I ask questions, I get curious. And I realize now that I studied journalism and then I studied basically film and editing and all that so that I could do what I'm doing right now. It all came together in my undergraduate and graduate. So you can just take your existing skills and think, oh, I wasn't meant to be on, like a reporter. I was meant to report from the divine. And so for you, you could take what you've done and think, oh, it was not this, it was this. There's always a different way to look at it. You might be wanting to start a family, but the main thing is what's this sort of metaphorical seed that you want to plant and see grow over the next year, right? Now the wild card. Let's see. Six of Cups. What a great card to come through. If you are trying to start a family or find a partner, this is a really great card for that. I don't always speak about partnerships, but this is that. To me, the Six of Cups can be a divine partnership, a deep, deep soul connection. I had a conversation yesterday about soulmates. I don't like to use the word soulmate because there's so many soulmates. Apollo's my soulmate. One of my parents is my soulmate. An old friend of mine's a soulmate. I have a lot of soulmates. But this is a divine partnership where you really feel a deep, deep soul connection. And it's positive karma. There's friendship. It's kind. It's easy. So this can be one of the things that you call in. You can be married and still find a best friend in your life that fulfills this role. You can be single and stay single and then find like a mentor in your life that fulfills this role. But I think that some of you could be calling in this kind of like best friend energy. And whether you want it to be friends and lovers or just friends, there's definitely something better on the horizon here. And it could also be a child. Yes. Six of Cups can be twins though. So if you're trying to have a baby, make sure that you are okay with possibly two. So that is what it is. For other aspects of our life, the Six of Cups is kind of going back to the past and finding an irreverence and a joy and a sort of, just not taking things so seriously. As adults, we sometimes get really tethered down by, can I do it? Should I do it? What will they think? How is this going to work? Optics play such an important role as an adult. And this one is saying, no, you're taking yourself too seriously. That's why it's reversed. And let's just have some fun. Let's play in the sandbox together, right? So get back to celebrating the little moments, the joy, having fun, using your imagination. I'm glad that when I was a kid, it dates me a little bit, but the internet wasn't really prevalent. So I had a chance to just play outside with kids. And that helps me even in what I'm doing now, because I can just let my imagination or let my creative self connect. And I don't necessarily need a device to be there. I'm very tech savvy and I love the internet, but sometimes it's nice to just be away and disconnected. So for the partnerships that might be suffering a little bit, Three of Cups reversed, this is basically saying get back into just some space. Take a little mini drive somewhere, because I know we can't really do vacations right now, but maybe drive a little bit. Just like I said, maybe do a picnic somewhere, or just spend some time together with all the devices and all the streaming stuff turned off, and just get to know that person and have that connection again. Okay. I like it. It could be a past person coming back too. The interesting thing with the Sun card is there could be sort of this parent-child relationship or sibling relationship with the next person that's coming into your life, be it a friend or a lover. So one of the things that you want to sort out first is, have we resolved that karma as sibling or parent-child? And once you do that, it feels like it'll be a pretty clean exchange. The next part of this reading, I've added a new piece, so I want to talk about that, and then we're going to meditate. So stick around until the end, and what I'm doing is starting to pull up an extra card this month. We'll see if people like it. And this can just be something that I didn't cover, but you're dealing with. Or if you just want an extra piece of advice for like the week ahead, this card can help you out with that. So we're going to do a meditation, and I'm going to focus on helping you release a little bit. We're going to try to do also just an easier meditation on feeling things out, maybe energetically at the beginning. And then I will help with that bonus question, if you will. So before we get into that, just a couple of quick notes. If you haven't hit like and subscribe, please do. It's the single best way that you can say thank you. It helps people discover the channel. And when this is on replay, do a comment or something, or share it. Engagement is really important to YouTube. And so even though it probably annoys you that a lot of creators like myself will have to say that, it does matter. So hitting the thumbs up, hitting subscribe, opting in, and then doing some sort of a comment, share, etc., really impactful. And it doesn't cost anything, and it helps me so much. So if you want to do that right now, you can do it while I'm getting ready to meditate. On replay, you can use the applaud button. Before or after meditation, you can also use the super chat. Quick note, if you want to follow me on social media, please do so. On all major social media platforms, I'm at Nicholas Ashbaugh, and that includes Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Goodreads, and Patreon. Patreon is a great way to give back, as well as here on YouTube, you can click the join button. I'm at Ashbaugh on Twitter. You can go to my website. I pinned the link at the top there if you need to review that. And the website, just in case you want to know the link, is my name, nicholasashbaugh.com. All right, we'll talk a little bit more at the end. Let's get into the meditation and see what's coming through here for healing. I think healing and releasing is what I'm going to focus on. And because of the Yellow Warbler, I think we should pay attention to the throat as part of this. So opening up your voice, helping you find your voice. Let's use like a springtime sort of metaphor in the meditation, and imagine yourself just on a beautiful spring day walking outside. For those of you that might be close to hills or mountains, imagine that they're green. especially here in Southern California, sometimes you'll look at the mountains and they kind of just turn gray as the year goes on. But in the springtime, Northern California too, but you see this beautiful sort of velvet green that coats all of the mountains as the sage and the trees and the flowers and the poppies and everything starts to bloom. So imagine that you're starting to see that beautiful, almost like a painting. You're going to paint the landscape in with this bright, bright green, almost too bright. And I want you to imagine that as you walk out on a trail, you can even kind of feel the velvety, soft energy of the ground and the moss as you walk upon it. And this gentleness starts to make you feel at ease. If there was any sort of harsh energies in your life or in your thought process prior to this moment, everything feels a little bit softer, a little bit easier, a little bit more relaxed at this moment. Find a space where you can lay down for a few moments and take if you'd like to. You can either like lay down on the grass if you feel comfortable, or you can put some sort of a cloth down. But lay down and just feel the support, the gentle support of the grass and the earth beneath you, maybe leaving your bare feet touching the earth so that you have some sort of grounding or connection to Mother Earth. As you lay down in this moment in time, you are taken care of. You are supported. And you feel this beautiful blanket of green wrapped around your heart space. And as you look up at the sky above you, beautiful crystal blue, not a single cloud in the sky. All you see is the sun and this blue energy. The sun shines directly down onto your solar plexus, which is just above the belly button underneath the heart. And you're allowing that area to really open up, and you feel this warmth, and it's almost as if it's like melting, if you will. Anything that was stuck in that particular part of your body is just melting and opening, and it feels really, really nice. And then you feel that warmth spread all the way to the top of your head, all the way to the tips of your toes, even kind of moving into the ground beneath you and the plants around you. This beautiful solar plexus energy, strength, charisma, power, joyfulness, the ability to birth and be rebirthed. And now the blue energy from the sky also starts to coalesce and move around your throat chakra. It's the color of your throat. So as you breathe and open up, you start to allow a clearing and an opening of your throat. And just like a singer that can reach some sort of a new octave, you feel like the frequency, the vibration, even just the capacity to find different words, articulation, all of that is starting to open up as the blue energy from the sky comes through. The sky is the limit. So you feel strength in your belly, you feel openness in your throat. And for the purpose of the meditation, imagine that your third eye is going kind of inward and looking toward whatever it is that you need to understand about yourself. It's going to understand the past and give you a hint on the future, so you can get an intuitive download as we're meditating. And then once you've done that, think of whatever it is that you want me to take a look at in the final card, and I will read that in just a moment. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale. If you want to, you can imagine that you're going to stretch out your arms. And as you do so, maybe you can see this sort of energetic feathering of energy that has occurred. You've basically created those wings that we were talking about in the channel messages earlier. And you can symbolically bring that newfound freedom, that newfound strength, almost like a phoenix rising from the ashes. And think about what you've seen. Look at the things in the past that have held you back, or where you felt like, I'm not going to be able to get past this, and you did. The message here is clear that you are stronger than others have given you credit for. Maybe you're stronger than you even imagined you could be yourself. And there's so much to live and cherish, to live for, I should say, and cherish in this life, that you get excited about the potential of tomorrow. Just like that little yellow canary-like bird that I saw this morning. Start to use your voice, start to spread your cheer, start to have some fun, and do something spectacular. Gently allow your energy to come back into your body. You can rub your hands together, put your left hand on top of your heart, your right hand on top of that, and just seal the intention that you're going to make tomorrow a great day. You're going to make today a great day. You're going to learn from the past, but you're really living for now and for tomorrow as well. Open your eyes if you haven't already. And let's take a look at that final card and final message for today. Okay, so as I'm shuffling, I just want you to think of something that you are either curious about or struggling with a bit, and we'll try to get some clarity. Oops. We have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is reversed, and I see the Four of Cups as a hidden blessing. So for many of you, just like those wings that we created, there's something coming towards you, and it's really important to be awake, aware, and to not question some of the things. Sometimes when there is a blessing, it's sort of like, can I do it? Do I deserve it? Am I ready for it? I hope you are, because I see some great things here. Also, there's sometimes a reminder with this that the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the hill. It was beautiful where you were meditating. So change if and only if you want to change, if you're ready to, if you want to make that movement. Be grateful for the things in front of you and stay open to different ways of thinking. Whatever you're trying to find, it might be right there. If you've lost something, this is usually saying, look a little harder, it's probably in the house. If you're trying to find a different way out, it's going to come to you in the least convenient or expected time. So as you're showering, brushing your teeth, driving your car, on the phone, talking to someone, all of a sudden you remember it, write it down. That's why I wanted you to journal stuff, because the moments of the epiphanies are going to come at weird times. So if you can do that, I think it's going to be something that later you'll have the aha moment and think, this is amazing. Okay, so things are better than you think. There's a hidden opportunity, hidden blessing, and you might find the sort of insight at the weirdest moment. Okay, so let's wrap up here one more time. I want to say thanks to everybody. Like I said, you can go to my website if you want some more information. I saw someone talking about my book. Thank you so much for mentioning it. If you're interested in getting the book, it's called The Luminous Ones. This is science fiction and fantasy, really for fans that enjoy books like Lord of the Rings or Dune. So it is a deeper read, not everyone's cup of tea, but if you like that kind of fantasy or sci-fi, then this is, and you should check it out. You can read a chapter for free on most digital services like Kindle and Google Play and Kobo. I think a lot of them give you the first chapter for free. So just read it and see if you like it. And then if you want to, you can purchase it either there or through most major bookstores. You can go to my website for more information on that. Again, if you want to help, please like and subscribe. Thank you for everybody that has given Super Chat. It means the world to me, and it continues to help me buy new supplies and everything. And I hope to see you on social media as well, at Nicholas Ashbaugh, like I said before. And I will continue to try some new things on TikTok too. I need some more subscribers there. So if you want to join me there, you can. I think I need about 1,000 before I can go live. So I don't do a lot on TikTok, but if I can go live, I might do more. So feel free to join me if you like. And that wraps up everything for today. Thank you so much. I know Dakota had to leave early. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I will be back again on Sunday and Monday. So I hope you can join me. I'll be doing Virgo and Libra on Sunday and Monday. You can check out my website for the schedule. And in the meantime, have a great day and lots of love and light. I think you got a great month ahead. So until then, take care. And again, much love and light.